Well, that's 12 more damage from the lava.
Well, that drops me.
I don't understand. This should have been an easy encounter. It was only a medium difficulty. You guys should have been fine.
It wasn't the creatures that killed us, it was the environment.
Welcome, hackers. Today we're going to talk about the idea of using environmental hazards as creatures. Instead of the environment being something outside of the calculation for the difficulty of the encounter, this will allow us to more accurately judge the strength of the encounter. We're going to look at why this might be beneficial and a few examples. I also have a short document on my Patreon that you can find in the link in the description. We discussed the environment in a different video that I will link above and in the description. In that video, we talked about using the environment to make the encounters more exciting and memorable. But what if we made the encounters more than just backdrops that we described to the players and actually created some environmental hazards that we statted out as creatures? Many times, environments have static effects like difficult terrain or limited visibility. These effects are similar to the abilities of many creatures, like the kobold's sunlight sensitivity and pack tactics. They are always on abilities that don't need to be activated. Other environmental effects, like shifting sands engulfing a character or rushing water pushing them into another danger, are activated at specific times, much like creatures' actions or reactions. Now, if we have an encounter that is of medium difficulty to the players, that takes place in an empty, featureless room versus the same encounter, but the room is filled with lava and poisonous gas, well, that would be a much more difficult battle, but still would be calculated the same based on the encounter builder. Sometimes the environment could be a much bigger threat than the creatures themselves actually are. We've already discussed in a previous video mentioned earlier the benefits of using the environment to create more dynamic encounters. So instead, let's take a look at a couple of the ones that I've created. The first is quicksand. You can see here that I used a template to make it look like a creature. For some of the hazards, the armor class and the hit points don't really matter, and if that is the case, then they will have 0 hit points. This particular hazard isn't super dangerous, so the challenge rating is only a 1. It has a camouflage ability, making it difficult to see, and a bonus action to essentially grow in size and consume more area. It has an action that it can use on its turn to cause any player in its area to sink deeper. If the player is small, they will be in trouble really quick, but larger creatures might have a little more time. The second one is the forest fire. This one actually has hit points because the party can target it in order to remove it from the encounter. It is immune to most damage but vulnerable to cold. If the hit points are depleted, then it is destroyed. It has no actions itself, but moves each round and causes damage and can cause smoke inhalation as well. I have several other examples on the document on my Patreon, so go and check that out. This document is on the free tier, so anyone can take a look. Keep in mind that the hazards on this list that can't be destroyed because they have no hit points are only active during combat. Outside of combat, these kinds of hazards would be more roleplay than anything else, and they're only dangerous when the players are distracted by other creatures in the area that are hostile to them. Like and subscribe to the channel so that you can be informed when I have new Dungeons and Dragons content, and please share this video with somebody else that you think might be interested. All of that will help me with the algorithm. And until the next video, keep on hacking the dungeon.